Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Glad you could join me tonight. For those of you that will be watching this later, thanks for taking the time. So I got a few things that I'm going to be doing, that I'm going to be covering tonight. I anticipate that they're going to be kind of interesting. One thing that I'm sure everybody's seen right now so far that's just out of control is the Apple-Google, right, partnership to turn smartphones into coronavirus tracking devices. I don't know. Let me go back to here. This is all still kind of new to me. So there we go. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was popped up on there. Good. I'm going to make this full screen so that you can follow along with me. So in rare collaboration, tech rivals look to method used in some Asian countries to curb contagion. Effort is likely to raise privacy concerns. I'm going to drop the link here, like always, so that you can have a chance to go and read it. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on it. But when we have Apple and Google working together, right? When they are working together to track us, right? We have a serious issue. Ostensibly, I'm going to give you a quick summary of what they're saying, right? What they're going to do is working together in order to track our phones. Allegedly, it's not going to be a privacy issue. There's going to be no personal data. You know, the same garbage that they always tell us. They're not going to track anything personal, but what they're going to do is use your location, and then when they find someone who has tested positive, right, they're going to inform everyone that was near that person that you might have potentially come into contact with someone who's positive for COVID, and we recommend that you go get tested and all this stuff. However, here's the other part that I think it's going to be used for, because that in and of itself on the surface sounds, okay, maybe not bad. But they're also going to be using that to determine when there are, what is going on? Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me check something here. Yeah. Testing. Is it working now? What is going on? This doesn't make any sense. It's saying that it's working. Hold on. Testing. All right, I'm gonna ditch this broadcast and try to start over and see if that's it. Doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Let me try to switch. Hold on. How about now? Is it working now? Testing. 1, 2, 3. No, still no sound. Huh.
What is going on here? How about now? Is it working? Hmm. Oh, it's good now? Okay. All right. Uh, okay. So apparently had an audio issue. Seems like it's fixed now. So get rid of that microphone. I don't know what's happening here, but that's all right. That's all right. So basically, we've got Google and Apple working together in order to track us, right? Good. Hi, Tim. Thanks for showing up. Apparently had an issue with microphone, but we got it sorted and we're back in business. So what they say is that they want to track us so that they can tell people when they come in contact with someone who came positive with the COVID virus, right? That's what they say. But it's been shown that what they're probably going to do is track gatherings of, people. It's all about proximity. So in order to tell you, hey, you've come within 6 feet of a person, it's showing where you're at, right? It's also going to allow the authorities to determine when there are gatherings, right? In violation of the orders. Do you realize this is what I want people to really, really just stop and think about? Do you realize that we have freely given up our right to assemble? That we have freely said, okay, yeah, we're just going to sit at home. And I get this virus is scary to a lot of people. I get that. But we have consented to having our most fundamental rights just thumb on it, right? I I have to call it COVID 1984 now because everything is just starting to really, really come into focus. If we don't take our rights back, I'm really concerned about what we're going to see happen very, very soon. Uh, but continuing on, I have to touch on this. This just happened not that long ago, but I have to touch on it. I know that right now it's the primary. I'm not running against any of the people in the Democratic Party, but this goes to show what we're up against, right? What is happening here. So earlier, one of the guys that's running for the Democratic nomination, Frank Mervin, who, let me just put out there, seems like a good guy. Let me add this up here. There we go. He put this post up, make it full screen here. All right. He put this post up where it says, I am honored to be able to support Joe Biden for president. He knows how to fight for organized labor and all workers, and we will need his leadership as we turn to focus on revival, blah, 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 blah. I look forward to continuing to support Joe as we come together as a Democratic Party and a nation to ensure the health, safety. All right. He's saying that he supports Joe Biden, right? Okay, fine, whatever. Everybody knows that that's the Democratic nomination for president, right? Nothing's gonna change that. Bernie can't win as far as delegates and stuff go, as far as actually being the nominee. So what? Okay, whatever. So what's the problem? Well, he faced a large degree of negative feedback. I guess there were a lot of people that were very, very upset that he was backing Joe Biden because let's face it, Biden's got issues, man. Anyone can see that it's elder abuse at this point. The guy has cognitive issues. He can't more than 5 minutes and he just kind of gets lost. I don't know if you've seen his town halls and his photo ops and videos, right? That his interviews that he's tried to do. But he can't handle it. It's too much for him. So people were like, look, I liked you, but you can't support this guy. So instead of going, okay, here's why I support him, he deleted his post. He deleted it. So now, right? Now he replaces that post with this one. In an effort to clarify an earlier social media post regarding Joe Biden, as a Democrat, I will vote for our Democratic nominee for president of United States. President of the United States. My earlier post was not meant to be considered as an endorsement. At this time, I remain focused on responding to our current health crisis and the immediate pressing needs of all Northwest Indiana individuals, workers, and families. Right? Okay. Now, I got to make a couple of clarifications here for those, because the guy's he's a township trustee. Okay. He seems like a nice guy. I personally don't know him. My issue is with this is, if you are so quick to delete a post because a few people said grr or no or whatever to anything, if you are that quick to delete a post, what are you going to do for us in Washington? Are you really going to stand up for us? Because look, if I don't win the nomination, and if he does, and if he wins the general, right? Or I win, and ultimately if he ends up as congressman, I'm still in his district, he's my congressman. I'll call this out, because are you really so thin-skinned that you're going to delete a post and try to do damage control because some people disagree? People disagree with me all the time, right? Disagreement is the mother of conversation. There's no way that we can advance as a society, as a united country, without disagreements. Well, otherwise we don't learn anything. So are you so quick and so flexible that you're just going to abandon whatever your principle was? Look, if you were a Biden guy before this, then okay, what's the issue? If you were a Bernie guy before this, then you put, look, I personally would have preferred to see Bernie Sanders win, but I don't understand. I really don't. I'm having trouble understanding, other than he's playing politics. That's what it comes down to. And we've got enough of that. We've got enough of that. We have people that are playing politics all over and not doing what's right for the people. They're not going, look, man, I'm calling BS on this because it's not good for the people. It's not good for us. It's not good for them. Whatever. This leads into what I was talking about social media posts, right? I don't delete my social media posts unless, with one caveat, unless I put something out there that provides false information, right? I link to an article that is later discovered to be incorrect. I don't leave that out there. But the things that I say that are my opinion, I stand by those opinions. I stand by those beliefs. I say what's on my mind, because we need someone to do that. We need someone who's going to go to Washington and say, no, American citizens are more important than illegals. I think that my district deserves this or needs this or whatever, as opposed to that place. If we have people that are just so quick and easy flip-floppers, how is that any different than what we have now? How is that any different from the kind of people that are representing us? I mean, yeah, the first thing was, as soon as he said, I look forward to voting for Biden, right? This shows he's part of the Democrat establishment, right? Because you can look at Joe Biden and understand that this guy he's dangerous. He's dangerous, not because of who he is, but because of who the people are that are going to control him. The man doesn't have any, he either is extremely, extremely good at faking, or he has serious mental issues. He has cognitive impairment to where he can't remember things. He forgets where he is, all this. So he should, with his initial post, but stick by that. Stand by that. Why are you so quick to delete stuff? I'm not deleting anything. That's just the way it is. I've gotten into Twitter arguments with people because of things that I put that they don't agree with. Whatever. I don't care. You can agree, you can disagree, that's fine. But one of the most fundamental freedoms in this country is the ability to voice your opinion without the Gestapo kicking down your door, right? It's ridiculous. Timothy says, did you read about Michigan governor enacting an order making it illegal to leave your home and visit neighbor's home? I did not. I did not. I know that here in Michigan City, we have a governor who issued a curfew order that anybody after 10 p.m. can technically be charged with a crime if you're out, unless you're going to an essential business or going to get food and I kind of had a little disagreement with my buddy about this because he's like, well, stores are closed. All the stores are closed after then anyway. So what does it matter? What does it matter is because I live in America. I live in the United States of America, not China, not the Philippines where they're shooting people. They're shooting people. The guy, the whoever's in charge over there, the governor, president, whatever, the Philippines, said, shoot the people. The ones who are out, who are gathering, who won't go home. We're getting to that point, people. This is what, and I'm not trying to fearmonger because I'm not about that life, right? I'm not telling you. But what I am saying is every little step we give, right? It goes into Virginia. Every little step that we back up and we go, okay, you can have that. Okay, you can have that. And that's the problem with the Republican Party today. That's one of the biggest problems with the Republican Party today is that it wasn't an issue. It wasn't a problem, right? Until we give it away, right? They can't take it. We have to freely give it. And the Republicans won't stand up and say anything. They won't say nothing. I don't know. Hold on, what? Paul says, being that he's deleted from an official campaign page, wouldn't we be able to say he violated those people's First Amendment right? It wasn't Frank's personally. Oh, personal page he used. Oh, by deleting the post, the people that complained about it or called them on him. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could. I think it's an irrelevant argument personally, just because I think it shows more of the character behind this with the deletion and the explanation, right? Instead of just explaining, right? He could have got into the comments section and said, look, I can see how you can, construe this, but here's what I meant. And that's when I make a mistake, because I make mistakes. I'm human. I'll explain in the post. Okay, so look, here's what I meant, right? I'll put in the comment, look, you guys might think that I'm talking about this, but this is what I'm really talking about. I think that that's important. I think that we need to realize that there are people that are gonna have a problem with you no matter what you say, no matter what you do, right? There are people that are gonna call me this and that and this name and that name. I don't care. I worked at a maximum security prison. I have heard things I've had to look up, right? I never heard that before. I don't care what these people say. But going back to the rights, and we have Republicans, right? It's one of the issues that we've seen, and it's one of the issues that caused Donald Trump to get elected and become so incredibly popular, right? Is the fact that we have Republicans who are too scared to step up to the media. They are too scared to say, you're lying, you're fake news, you're this, you're that. And it's one of the things that I love about Trump. I love the fact that he'll call him on it. I love the fact that he'll be like, you're a terrible reporter. You're fake news. You're this. It's funny to me. I find it funny from a Trump perspective, but it's really sad from the Republican Party, because the Republican Party is a shadow of its former self. As far as when I was young, man, that was the party of Reagan. You know what I mean? That was the party of Ronald Reagan, who said, we are only one generation away from losing our freedoms, right? What is going on? And I'd like to see more Republicans, because I'm a Republican, absolutely. I'm a constitutional Republican. I'd like to see more Republicans stand up and say, no, I don't agree with that, but I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to stick by what I say. We need more people that are willing to stick by what they say. The other thing that I want to tell you guys is, so I don't know if you've been paying attention to Virginia. They kind of got quiet, right, after a while. Uh, Ralph Northam, good old blackface Northam, right? He signed a series of gun control measures. Okay, he signed 5 of them, which include expanding background checks to all firearm sales, all of them, even personal transfers, reinstating the cap on handgun sales to 1 a month. Think about that. They're telling you how much you can buy, and a red flag bill to allow authorities to temporarily take guns away from people deemed to be dangerous to themselves or others, the Roanoke Times reported. Other measures include penalties for allowing a firearm to get into the hands of a child younger than 14, and a requirement that gun owners report lost or stolen firearms to law enforcement within 48 hours after discovering they are missing. Yeah, so look, ultimately, the guy does not have our rights in mind, right? He's a sneaky, snaky dude, and he's just not. He's not a. You can look back at his history and see that he's not exactly a great individual. I'm not a fan. Many people in Virginia are not a fan, especially those who value their Second Amendment protection of their right to carry or keep and bear arms. He has shown over and over that he doesn't care about your rights. All he cares about is power. I don't think he's a good person. And if you thought that the fight in Virginia was over, not even close. Not even close. All these people marching on Virginia, right? All these people, not only from Virginia, but around the country, right? Marching on Virginia, and it still didn't teach them that people valued the Second Amendment. It still didn't stop them. It didn't stop them. It slowed them down a little. They went, they're going to drag us out in the street if we keep up this. But it didn't stop them. All they did was notch it back a few, right? I told you before, it's that little step process. That's why there are people that are like, well, why don't you just give them that? Why don't you just, agree to this, agree to that? Because we've agreed to too much. We've agreed to way too much. And now we have people in states all across the country, not, Indiana, it's not perfect here, but I'm going to tell you, it's a heck of a lot better than California, New York, and now even Virginia, right? We have people that are willingly going, yeah, well, it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit. It's just a little bit. Think about that. Yeah. Tim Jones said, I think these people forgot what we did to England when they tried to take away our rights. Right. Well, think about it like, the Tea Harbor, right? The Boston Tea Party, where they dumped the tea. Imagine it's just a little tax, right? It's just a little bit off the Second Amendment, just a little bit, right? What have we learned? What have we learned? Because, yeah, Paul said better than Texas too. Yeah, Texas as well, which Texas used to be, Texas, they love their guns, right? It boggles the mind. At what point are we going to really sit down and go, all right, guys, seriously, the Constitution has been under attack for a very long time. What are we going to do about it? One thing we can do and one thing we must do is elect people. Look, we have a couple of options here. Realistically, we can all band together and destroy the system. Revolution. There are many people that are going to get hurt, killed. That's not my preferred answer, right? That's way down on the list of things we need to get through to get to that, right? Let's start with voting for people who we realistically think represent us, okay? Which is why I'm running. I'm tired of sitting back and going, yeah, that guy sounds okay. Yeah, I think he might be. Look, career politicians care about one thing, and that's themselves. That's just the way it's been. It's shown over and over and over. once they're there for a little while, and I think there are those people that go there and really want to make a difference, and some do, right? I'm a fan of Rand Paul. He's been in there for quite a while, but I think overall he's a good guy. I think he does the best thing for his constituents, and I think that he focuses on, hey, if we don't fix this deficit, if we don't fix this crazy amount of spending, our grandkids are going to be paying this off. Plus, we have countries that own so much of our debt that if they call it in, it's like yanking that rug out, right? And there's theories about this and theories about that, and the Fed and this, but our responsibility, right? Our responsibility is to vote. Now, there's the illusion of choice, right? And that's true to a very, very high degree, because let's look at Obama versus Romney, right? Let's look at that race. Now, we know by Romney's recent actions, and not that reason, but going back a little bit, that he's part of the swamp. He's part of the deep state. Obama, we know, is part of the deep state. So it didn't really matter which one got elected at that point. The illusion of choice, right? Same thing with, he who shall not be named, right? Him versus Obama. Same deal. It doesn't really matter which of those two get in. That's why they never, ever, ever thought that Trump was going to get elected. They never thought. They had everything set up. They were all ready. Look, we as a society, we have to start with the things that we can do, preferably safely, right? Before we go out and before we start marching on places and demanding this and demanding that. First, let's do it the peaceful way. Let's vote. First of all, here in Indiana, I'm really, really concerned about this mail-in voting thing, guys. I'm not going to lie. If you saw what happened in Wisconsin with their ballots, did you see that, where they had all those ballots just sitting at the post office? It was like container after container after container, right? And I'm not saying that there was intentional fraud or issues there for that. What I'm saying is, when we have the number of people that need to vote that we have currently, right? We have over 700,000 people, right? I did the math on it the other night. Like 300,000 adults, right? I think it was like 380,000 adults. All those people would need ballots, and the absentee ballot system, which is what they're set up for in Indiana as far as a mail-in system, is a tiny, tiny fraction of that, right? They have maybe 2,000 that they get mailed in, like LaPorte County. They get like 2,000 of these versus 100,000, 25, 35, 45,000 ballots that get swarmed in, and we're not set up for it. There's no way that we can effectively, safely, and legally go through these ballots and make sure everybody's votes counted. There's no way, no possible way that we can do it. And it's horrible, right? It's so incredibly sad. I don't know what the solution is for that. I'd love everybody to be. Why? My question is, with today's technology, right? And we know that all of this tech. Look, I just showed you at the beginning, of this show. We know that the technology's there. Why can't we figure out some sort of digital voting? Why is that so hard? Temporarily, right? Securely, I'm sure that there's a way. I still think that the very best method is in-person voter ID, but mail-in ballot is sketchy, man. It's sketchy, especially with the numbers that we're talking about, the sheer number of people that we're looking at. I don't know. We have to get better people into office, people that care about our workers, people that care about the people that are on the ground here. Look, the wealthy have plenty of representation, right? They've got their representation. The poor, right? The middle class. What do we have right now? We got Donald Trump, which, there are things that he's done that I wholeheartedly agree with, and I'm damn sure going to vote for him in 2020. You can bet on that, because look at our options, right? Let's be real here. Do we really want someone who is in favor of illegal immigration, who's just going to provide free health care to anyone and everyone, including people who shouldn't even be here? Or do we want Donald Trump? Do we want somebody who is probably going to be 25th Amendment within the first year? Or do we want Donald Trump? Come on, guys. I think that it's a clear choice here. But that's my opinion. That's the thing. I'm entitled to it. And that's why I'm not going to delete anything that I post. I'm going to stand by it. You can like it or not. Don't care. I think it's unfortunate that we have people that are putting themselves out there who are not willing to stand by the things that they say. But it is what it is. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Let's see. I thought there was something else that I had in here. I think that I'm gonna make this shorter. I'm gonna start making these shorter because I can kind of go on and on and on, but I want to make them more focused. And I'm just I'm trying to get some better lighting. I know it's not ideal, but I'm gonna try to get some better lighting, get a better camera. Yeah, so Paul said, Vermin Supreme, ponies and 50 cows for all. Yeah. Look, man, I think I would probably vote for Vermin Supreme before I would vote for Joe Biden. Yeah. Because look, I've said it, my wife has said it, other people have said it. Look who his running mate's going to be. I find it interesting that he hasn't even announced that yet, because that's who's going to be running this country, because it's not going to be Joe Biden. It's going to be the deep state handlers. Joe Biden is he's either going to step down, assuming he wins, step down, or 25th Amendment, like that, right? So I appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out with me. I have a special event coming up. There is a guy that wants to tell his story and set the record straight. So more information on that coming. I got to talk to him and see what he's willing to say and do, but he said he wants to do it live. So that might happen tomorrow night, maybe. Stay tuned. I'll keep all of you informed, and, see you tomorrow night. God bless you, and God bless the US of A.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.